Guess what? I think the time has come, it's probably way overdue actually, for men to have a conversation about what's tough. What is being strong really about? What is being weak? We have a lot of stigmas in the manosphere, in masculinity around this planet. And I certainly came up from some pretty tough upbringings. You know, addiction was always present in the household. Money was always a problem. So a lot of fighting, a lot of violence. I got into a lot of fights. And so I was pretty skewed in terms of what it really meant to be a man. What do you think it is to be a man? I'm grateful to be stepping up into leadership, to really hold space for us to have this conversation. Because which is it? Is it strong for a man to just suck it up, to never show the emotions, never show that soft side of you? Or is it strong to ask for help, to learn how to connect with your emotions, to learn how to be more self-aware, right? Is it strong for a man to protect and defend and to be able to retaliate against those that have harmed him? Or is it strong for a man to turn his cheek, to look beyond the offense, no matter how big or small, and to try to de-escalate confrontation if it's not life-threatening? That's the matrix. That's the measure. There's so many things in this world that cause us so much pain it's not life-threatening. But we turn it into these really big things, and it's just because I believe that men are so suppressed. And I think you're a really strong man if you're a guy that's able to just like go through life sucking it up, man. Just fucking never showing any sign of weakness, any sign of emotion. Oh man, you are a fucking strong motherfucker. But I can guarantee you there's a different side of you. How you really feel is the real question, right? You may be providing. People may or may not express to you their appreciation for what you do. And yet, a lot of times, if you're suffering, if you're hurting, if you're feeling like you feel fucked up, but you have no idea how to say it. And you're afraid to say it because even if you did, a lot of times that shit gets used against you, right? There's all kinds of stigmas about, don't ever show a woman your emotions. Don't ever tell them what you're really feeling. Don't ever cry in front of a woman. And, there's some of that shit that I care about. Other of that shit I don't give a fuck about. I care about you. I care about what is best for you and for you to heal. And if you think that for what's best for you is to just keep carrying on the way that you've been carrying on, fighting these fights that no one ever knows about, then my heart goes out to you, man. I send you strength and clarity and endurance to keep on that fight. But if your time has come for you to say there's got to be a better way, I deserve better, my life matters, right? I'm worthy. I'm willing to be a provider, and I'm worthy to be appreciated for that, right? And I'm also able to share when I don't feel good, when I feel hurt, when I feel down. And I'm not talking about men walking around fucking dragging their asses. Not that shit. Do I look like I'm walking around doing that? I'm role modeling this shit, right? This is the new flex. I know a lot of guys that are out here influencing, really popular and shit, right? They're all about the fitness. They got the fucking perfect bodies, right? But do they truly have self-mastery, right? Or is it only about that? Maybe they got the body and the bag. Is that enough? I bet you that's enough for a lot of you. You're like, man, if I had the body and the bag, fuck how I feel. Right? Because the body and the bag would just help me to feel a lot better. But just think that you can have the body, the bag, and the greatest gift, to truly trust yourself. To truly attract people that are going to see you for you, not just see you for what you have, which also means they could leave you for what you don't have. And that's the big problem. I think that's why so many men are suffering right now, is because, right, we've been told, I love you, from the lovely, lovely ladies out there. And because, right, we can show up, we can dress right, we got the fashion right, some of us got the body right, or we're charismatic, we have a personality, but then, we're attracting people that have similar issues, emotional wounds. And what is that causing? That's causing there to be a sense of insecurity, emotional insecurities. People don't feel safe around you to be vulnerable. And there is something to be said about a man being a rock, right? But the thing is, are you really helping other people if you can't even help yourself, right? I think that's what leaves so many men feeling empty, and it's like we have to get to the root of it. If 50% of men are overweight and 2,000 men a day are killing themselves, right? Something we're doing is not working. And that, to me, I think the issue is the suck it the fuck up. And, I know all about the red pill. I know all about relationships, right? I'll go toe-to-toe conversation with anybody out there, because I know that the two missing pieces that a lot of people aren't putting together, it's kind of like you have the material side of manosphere, right? And the physical, right? You have the material side, the physical side, and then you have like this new piece that's the spiritual piece. But then here comes me that's trying to tie a knot around all of those, and then also add the mental and the emotional piece. The mental and the emotional piece, because there really is 5 pieces to it. 5 pieces. The mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, and the financial health. Those things are going to help you to feel the most whole and complete about yourself. But it does start on the inside. Sure, getting a promotion or starting a business and having some success is going to make you feel pretty fucking good. But even in that, there's going to come a point where you're like, fuck, I'm so fucking busy. I'm stressed the fuck out. So how do you deal with the stress of success? Right? There comes a point when you meet the love of your life and the honeymoon rubs off, and all the intimacy and the sex and the gifts and just all that honeymoon lovey-dovey shit wears off. And then how do you deal with the rejection of sex? How do you deal with not feeling appreciated? How do you feel when your girl's getting hit on by other dudes? Which, if you're an attractive guy, you're going to attract attractive women. You got to be stable and secure enough within yourself to trust that she's got to handle that shit. You can't apply all your emotions to it. And if she don't handle it, then you have to also have the strength and the emotional stability to just release that person versus trying to hold on tight. But how do you handle the aftermath? How do you handle the heartbreak? Right? Let's just say you invest in your body and you're putting in all that work and you're feeling good and looking good and the scale looks awesome. The 6-pack is coming in. The arms, you've seen some veins, some You know, you're seeing some veins popping out, become a little more vascular, and then the girl breaks up with you, or you lose the job, or a health issue happens that you can't work out anymore. What are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do then? And, you know, you can point this scenario in the spiritual realm as well. I know a lot of people that, man, they're all in on God, all in on Jesus, right? Jesus, man, it's everything. He's the Savior, but he ain't gonna fix your life. You gotta do that. That's your responsibility. He's gonna get you to heaven. He's not going to fix your life. And I know I battle with people all the time about that. Believing in Jesus doesn't make you healthy physically. I see a lot of people that are super unhealthy. They're not very good role models of truly honoring the vessel. But then they have an excuse, right? Oh, well, you know, the rapture, Jesus is coming, right? And there's a lot of people that use God as a crutch, that somehow, just like in terms of any relationship, a lot of men, when you fall in love, you get down on your knee, you get married, then it's sort of like you kind of stop. I know I did. I know I had that whole picture, man. The wife, the dog, the kids, the picket fence, and it's like, I let it all go. And I practically almost died in my sleep. A funny story was like 10 years ago. I remember I was sleeping with my wife, who's now my ex. We were together for 21 years. And I was super unhealthy, man. I let it go. I was eating my emotions. I was super depressed after the 08-09 economic collapse, feeling like a failure. I was working out, but I was doing it for the wrong reasons. You know, I wanted to feel better about myself, but, you know, it was almost like I was trying to get strong to be intimidating to people, not to be healthy, because I was still eating like shit. And because I was still eating like shit, you know, the VA had given me a CPAP. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea and taking all kinds of other shit. And I remember one night I had this regurgitation, right? I'm sleeping, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I have this regurgitation, it blocked my airway. And next thing you know, I'm like starting to choke, right? Like hyperventilating. And I start getting loud because I couldn't breathe. And I wake up my wife at the time, and she starts shushing me. Shh, shh, shh. I'm trying to sleep. And I'm like, and so I had to pop out of bed and run downstairs. And I gave myself the Heimlich maneuver on a kitchen counter and cleared my airway. And it was like, God dang, man, what have I done to myself? Has anybody felt like that? Is anybody feeling like that right now? Like, what happened? How'd I get this? How'd I get all this visceral fat? How did I just like stop exercising when I've always been athletic and active? And now it's like, man, I've just given it up. That's depression. A lot of that's depression. I know I was super depressed when I let it go like that. I was eating the emotions, overeating, to just being stuffed. And then I was, oh man, I was just feeling like I was gonna die in my sleep. And yet I found Jesus in that season. And I went all in on Jesus. And it was crazy because like there was a calling on my life just like there is right now. But I was rejected by men, lots of different men, lots of different churches. I was a threat. I was intimidating because I stood for something more than what they wanted to live for in their box. And I know a lot of those guys, if I go into their little Bible study right now, they're still struggling with the same old shit, man. Talking about the same old shit. There's no growth. Where's the growth? Where's the fruit? Where's the fruit from all that investment, all that perfect attendance? Where's the fruit? And I'm not saying, I truly do believe men need to tap into spirituality, but I'm not going to condone a religion. I think men need to just go out into the wild and connect with God. right? That's where you connect with God. You don't need no box. You don't need no preacher, right? God will show you who he is. He will reveal, and I can show you the way. I can show you ways that you can have God reveal himself to you. And yet, what I realized is that the religion didn't heal my emotional wounds. Trauma, if you want to debate me on this, I know this shit triggers people, but trauma is not in the Bible. And I know that I was carrying around a lot of unhealed trauma in my life. And I know that even when I was filled with the Holy Spirit and fighting with my wife on the way to church and preaching the word and going to Bible studies 4 times a week, 6 o'clock in the morning, praying with men, everybody talking about all their secret sin, the emotional shit, I still didn't trust myself. I still was triggered. I still would get angry. And yet I was all in on Jesus. And yet God took me to the wilderness because he wanted to show me that there's more. There's more. And I'm telling you, there's a difference between spiritual health, right? And emotional health. And a lot of you don't want to hear that. But if you become a Christian, your emotional wounds aren't gone. Your triggers aren't gone, right? That's what I've learned. It's the only word that's not in the Bible. Trauma, look it up. Find it for me. There's traumatic stories in there, but there's not a way of how to heal and reprogram yourself from generational trauma. And I know it well. So the emotional pieces really was the last mountain that I needed to climb. Straight up. I mean, I got sober, right? I started asking for help, which was helping sort of some of the trauma, the PTSD shit I have. And I started to work out. Then I started to eat right. Then I started to go to church. Then I went away from church. And then I continued leaning into connection with God, spirituality, learning about programs, trauma healing, emotional wounds, generational curses, all this stuff. And yet here we are. Here we are having this conversation right now. Here we are having this conversation about what really men need to be talking about, what men really need to be spending their time about. And I truly do believe that if you start to go on this path of self-improvement, that's where it starts, right? You got to be able to look in the mirror and look at things that you want to improve. And again, you break it down. Do you want what areas do you want to have more mental clarity? Mental focus. What areas do you want to feel like you're more in control of your emotions? You're not always looked at as an angry, confrontational, ass. What areas of your life do you want to improve physically? What areas of your life do you want to have more spirituality involved in it? And then what areas of your life do you want to be more financially stable? It matters. Because as this version of me, which is the highest version of who I can be on this planet right here, right now, sharing my light with you, which if you see the light in me, if you are resonating with this message, it's in you too. It's just covered. You've covered it with all these suppressed emotions by blocking the light from coming out from within you because of worthiness, because you don't feel good enough, because you feel like you're a failure, because you feel like you have done way too many bad things and that you just don't deserve good things to happen. I'm here to tell you that's all lies. That's all lies. We all are worthy of redemption. But do you need redemption from people, or can you be redeemed by yourself and through God? Right? The Creator redeems you. The Creator can truly set you free. And that's where the spirituality does come in. I just have issue with just the religion. I see too many people that get caught up in the religion, just like you get caught up in the relationship, and you post up. You act as if somehow you have found the magic pill, and it's like, nah, man, the work needs to be done. There's still so much work that needs to be done. Are you truly your best version of yourself because you found the religion or you found the relationship? Most people start to settle. Most people start to compromise. And this is true for me. right? You get married, you get the ring on, and you're like, oh, good. You find God, and you're like, oh, good. All my troubles are gone. It's like, nah, man. When I got sober, my troubles didn't go away. I just was more clear-minded and able to like sit there in the uncomfortable and say, I got to fix this shit. I create all this mess. God, help me. Help me to fix this mess. I'm willing to, but please help me. Show me how. Show me how to trust myself. Show me how to be a better version of myself. Show me how to truly love myself and others unconditionally. That's the best feeling ever, is to trust yourself. Do you want that? Do you want to be able to trust yourself? What are you seeking right now? You need to ask yourself, what are you seeking? Are you just seeking temporary relief? Are you seeking a quick fix to your problems? Or are you really ready to lock in for the entirety of the rest of your life and say, no matter what happens, no matter what storms, no matter how big, no matter how bad, let's go. Banff warrior, right here, life on life's terms. Take on any challenge, anytime, any way. Always ready, always ready. Mission ready, right? That's the military way. A lot of people, I've served the veteran community after military, building award-winning veterans programs, and a lot of vets, man, you get out of the military and you don't have that structure, and you kind of let yourself go. That's been my experience. That's something that I experienced myself. And yet, people are just like that in general. We're looking for something that we can just be like, oh, okay, cool, the easy way. And it's like, no, man, it's not about easy or hard. Neither's correct. There is no such thing as easy or hard. That's an illusion. It's an illusion, and if you start to believe it, you're delusional in thinking that something is easy or hard, because right away you set yourself up for failure, for letdown. You just need to realize that taking life on life's terms is always going to come. It's energetic. There's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. There's going to be storms and there's going to be beautiful seasons. How do you show up each and every day? What mindset, what spirit do you have inside of you that says, cool, today, probably a little character building type day. I'm going to still have a smile. I'm going to have fun, right? I'm going to make the most out of it. I'm going to ask myself in the midst of this challenge, God, what do I need to learn from this situation? What can I learn from this situation? And guess what? You'll learn the lesson if you have that attitude. But if you have some other kind of attitude, is like, I need to figure out and control and force a solution that somehow makes me feel like everything's okay, you're going to probably repeat the lesson. The test is going to get done again and again. And you've seen this. If you pull back, you can look at the patterns on your life. You've had a lot of patterns that are obvious. It's really obvious, the patterns, man. You're like, whoa, this is so similar. And you know when it's similar, that it's a test. It's a test from God. It's a test from the divine to say, are you ready? Are you learning? Are you truly being authentic to yourself? And a lot of these things, sometimes we get so broken down when we get rejected, but I'm promising you, it's protection. Rejection's protection. You think losing the girl, losing the job, right? Losing the home, and I've had all of that. Who hasn't? Who hasn't had losing the girl, losing the job, losing the home, whether it's rented or owned? Who hasn't? Has anybody not gone through those three things? Right? Has anybody not been broke and just fucking at wit's end saying, I don't know what the fuck to do, but I'm not going to kill myself and I'm just going to figure this shit out? And it helps when you have some faith, and it helps when you have a tribe of like-minded individuals around you that are willing to like cheer you on genuinely from an unconditional place of love, knowing that you have to do the work is self-rescue. But guess what? We can literally inspire one another through our stories. that we don't have to feel so alone. And that's what most people feel, is just alone. They feel like you're alone because you don't have the communication skills to express what's really going on. And the time is now to start opening up, to start having that dialogue. And if you want to start putting in the work, type in Results Kill Excuses into the App Store, download the app, but don't just download it and sit there. Start engaging in one of the courses. There's 5 courses right now, free, 25 lessons, over a month worth of work for you to put in. And I keep saying this, I'm not here to entertain you guys. And I'm so encouraged that I can tell that the energy, my energy is shifting. I feel it shifting. And it's a beautiful thing, because I know that the energy in you guys is shifting. We're doing this together. There was a long time I thought I was spitting in the wind. And I'm grateful that people are hearing this message and it's resonating. They're saying, you know what, man? Yeah, I'm either going through this. I've been through it. I'm getting through it, whatever it is. And we can do it together. That's the beautiful thing from this day forward, is I'm here to teach. I'm here to instruct. I'm here to coach. I'm here to inspire, but I can't do the work. So you got to do the work. If you're willing to do the work, you're going to get the results. That's the cool thing. If you sit there and watch your favorite team, right? Are they going to win for you every time? No. But if you sit there and do the work for you, you're going to win every day. Every day you're going to win. It's not some days, it's every day. Are the wins going to be huge, monumental? No. But that's the other piece, is we have to start to realize that little wins actually are some of the biggest wins. That's what shifts your life. That's what gives you hope. And a lot of you just need a little bit of hope to believe that whatever the fuck you're going through, you can get through. And when you do, you're going to be a much better version of yourself, with much healthier relationships, because you've improved the relationship you have with yourself. You're going to be a lot more secure with who you are, because you're not going to create bigger problems by having emotional outbursts and being uncontrollable. And you're going to have greater self-mastery, which in doing that, you're conserving a lot of negative energy. Thus, you're attracting a lot more positive energy. And that's going to give you something really special. You want to know what that is? It's going to give you a lot more creativity. And that creativity is what's going to truly start to open up some opportunities for you to truly accomplish your goals, your dreams, and your desires. The things that you feel are too far away from you. They're not. They're way closer than you think. And it's time for you to start reinvigorating those dreams of yours. But it takes shifting out of all the negativity, all the doubt, all the guilt, all the shame. The light you see in me is also right there in you. It's just covered up. So all we got to do is go in there and clean it out, get rid of all that shit, and set you free. You can do it. And I'm here to help you do it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. To everyone that's been subscribing to the channel, keep sharing the message. If it's resonating with you, there's probably a pretty good chance someone you know is ready to hear this same shit. It's the good news. It is the good news. It's the good news that sets you free, that gives you back self-respect for who you are. And I'm grateful to share that with you guys. I love you so much. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, come on now, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.